This podcast is sponsored by Relevant, a location-based mobile network personalized by your interests. Customize your newsfeed to consolidate all the information you care about all in one place to quickly and easily find what's relevant to you. Find out what's going on in your local area and reach your community from the palm of your hand. Relevant is available on iOS and coming soon to Android. Be the first to know with Relevant.
What's up, everybody? It's the Poorly Edited Podcast, the show where we put a spotlight on some of the most creative minds we can find, as best as a couple of college kids can do.
Not very well.
Not very well.
Well, you know.
I'd say so.
I'm your host, Chandler Davis.
We now have a testimonial.
My name is Coffee Guy. He's already ready to leave. Wow.
My name's Patrick Lilly.
That's
late
good.
for the first time ever to the Poorly Edited
Late
Podcast.
you were 1 minute late,
Yeah.
and now you're fired.
I showed up at like 3.
Wait.
I've been here. I was sitting outside for like half an hour before Coffee Guy showed up.
Who are you?
Oh, yeah. By the way, I'm Jake Stahl
Okay.
from the Cedar Routes. Routes. Have to specify that.
Like the
That's-
road, not the not
Yeah,
not the bottom of the
exactly.
tree.
Right.
Or that other band.
What?
You know, the president of Jimmy Fallon.
Jimmy Fallon and the Roots. Right?
Yeah, I wish. Oh, man.
Questlove's actually also their drummer.
That'd be great.
Fantastic.
Honestly, we don't normally play with drummer. So if Questlove were to come and help us out there,
Questlove,
open
we know
invitation.
you're listening.
Questlove, yeah. If you're out there, come join our country folk gospel band.
Now, Cedar Roots, that sounds familiar because I think we just heard it 30 seconds ago.
Oh yeah,
That was
so
what was playing.
that was a song called "I Saw the Light." It's actually a recording from the Cedar Roots duo, which was our lead singer Curtis and our guitarist Josh. Not Josh, the Josh from here.
Not our Josh?
Not your Josh, no. But there will be a relation soon.
You're going to bridge the gap.
Right, we're gonna bridge the big gap with some feudal Japan era marriage.
Interesting.
Oh, okay.
That's exactly what's
You're
happening.
gonna marry for power.
We have a love story going
Our,
on.
You're
our
gonna
guitar
strengthen the
player
Cedar Roots
Josh
by marrying
Anderson
Josh.
is selling his sister to Josh Brennan
okay.
to create some power. Well, I don't know.
Feudal Japan, I think they're still going strong.
Yeah,
I'm not
something
That's
mistaken.
what last
Yeah.
I heard.
Yeah, last I heard. It's still their structure, so.
Yeah, definitely.
You have to say, farming's not going anywhere, so they can
Yeah,
just keep rolling.
geez, agriculture. Come on.
So what have you guys been up to? How's your week been?
I don't know. I don't do anything.
Well, we've been
I just
playing.
work.
Well, we've
Oh, yeah,
been
you're
accomplishing
right, you're
one
right.
thing. We've been playing this new game called Apex Legends, a new battle royale, and we got our first win together the other night, and that was a really big deal. Thank you very much.
Zach really carried us to
Thank
that
you.
one.
He did.
I don't even like admitting that we're playing that game.
Well, you know, I don't think
To
anyone even knows
Zach's
it's a game.
facade.
Took a break from Path of Exile
Yeah.
for
We
30
got
seconds.
our first win in the Thunderdome.
Oh, yeah.
Wow. The Thunderdome this Sunday.
Yeah.
It was really lame. Yeah, really excited about it though.
Oh man.
The best part is I've been playing that game a lot, and I've been winning by myself, and I was playing with them, and that was probably the worst win I've gotten.
You win the least
before we all went
frequently.
to bed, he's like, guys, let's just don't downplay that at all. We achieved our dreams. We put the hours in, and we won.
It's going in the montage.
It's going to the Epic Gamer montage.
Oh yeah.
So in between matches of Apex Legends, we went to this particular event, this open house event called the Real Studio Open House.
Yep.
That was in Bethlehem. Myself, Amras, Patrick attended, and Josh attended. Josh Brennan and Lizzy.
And Lizzy.
Lizzy's also recording today. I forgot to mention because Josh is sick, but we're getting to all that in a second about Josh. This is a very Josh-centered episode. Sorry,
Yeah.
Jake.
That's fine.
But yes.
I'm willing to talk about Josh all day.
So we went to the
What a
Real
man.
Studio grand open house deal.
Yeah.
It was really cool. You were there. We
I
met
was
you
there.
there.
Yeah.
Josh already knew you.
Yep.
But we didn't.
Right.
So that was cool.
Yep.
I think I remember correctly. We came in and we were getting the tour or whatever, and you saw us, and then you screamed Lab 212 and then gave us all high fives.
Yeah.
Upon seeing
Nice
us.
crisp high fives.
Yeah, very
I,
crisp high fives.
I must specify crisp high fives. I don't give anything else.
It was not soggy in the slightest.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like you just popped open that bag of chips.
Exactly.
Right. What kind of chips though are we talking?
We're talking the sun chip bags that were like.
No, not
No.
those
We're
vegetables.
talking
What do you-
like baked barbecue lays.
Okay.
Oh, wow.
I'm a big fan.
Yes.
That was a
See, there's
thank
always
you.
somebody there.
Always
There's always
there.
somebody on
How
that
do you guys feel
page.
about salt and vinegar, though?
It's okay every once in a while. I feel like you can't just do salt and vinegar all the time. You know, it's
I
you
do
gotta
all
do
the
it
time.
sparingly.
If you eat too many of them, they start to burn off
Yeah,
the
no, it
layers of
destroys my mouth.
skin in your mouth.
It's a love-hate relationship.
I think when it comes to salt and vinegar chips, the right way to go is kettle cooked chips, though.
It's true.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah. I
The
think I'm on
crunch
board.
definitely offsets the flavor, and the texture is just really good
Yeah,
for
for
it.
sure.
Yeah, it's one of the only form of kettle cooked that I'll get into.
Tell you what,
with the salt and vinegar.
jalapeno chips, kettle cooked is the only way to go.
Now, are they like
Interesting.
actual jalapenos that you fry and turn to chips?
No,
or
it's just like jalapeno flavoring.
Okay.
I don't think
good.
that would work.
I don't know about that.
I don't know. I think it'd be all right.
We could
It'd be
test
like
it.
fried pickles.
Yeah. Latitude 12 Test Kitchen. Tune in next week. Make jalapeno
I just
chips.
want to see Josh doing that. If there's anyone I wanted to be doing a cooking show, it'd be Josh
And we
Brennan.
don't help him
Yes.
at all. And we give him like a really short time limit. Just Josh running around a kitchen.
Here's your list of ingredients. You have to go buy them in the time limit as well.
But we also put Josh in like a small kitchen because he's so big, like and
Yeah.
tall, like so he's just like running into things by accident and like sweeping things
And
with
we
his
have
arms.
like way too many pots, and all the handles are facing into the kitchen, so he inevitably runs into all of them, and they all fall over.
All right, so let's go. So Cedar Routes is I think, a unique band, right? Due to the genre. I mean, when you first told us the kind of music you guys play, I was definitely struck by how different it is compared to what I normally hear when people say they have a band.
Yeah, so a big scene in the Lehigh Valley right now is the punk scene, as
Absolutely.
you know.
Oh yeah, we do.
Yeah, you guys know Mitchell Kresge.
This is like the third show in a row Mitchell Kresge's gotten name dropped by
Listen.
completely different people.
Oh yeah.
I've known Mitchell. He's one of my oldest friends. I've known him since like kindergarten, so it's been a while.
course.
But yeah, we are a bit of a unique band in the area. We're a country folk gospel band. People think that's weird because, you know, how do you have three genres in one band?
It's actually my favorite thing when a band introduces themselves is like the longer they go to introduce themselves, the
It's
more
like-
I like them automatically.
You know, we're trying to be the Beck of of gospel music.
I listened to
He
Beck
won
on
an
the way
award.
here.
He won an
Creating-
award last night. The Grammys.
Transcending a genre even as we create it, you know.
Also, somehow, even years after everyone thinks you're relevant, you're still relevant somehow.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, that's what we want to be.
Yeah.
Extremely relevant.
That's been us for a long time. Not extremely
Yes.
relevant, but relevant, pretending to be relevant long after we stop being.
Yeah. So we're a country folk gospel band. All
Can you break down that?
right. Yes, I can.
Yeah.
I'm happy you asked.
Can you
Yeah.
diagram that sentence?
So it started with the Cedar Routes duo. It was Josh Anderson and Curtis Reef, our guitar
I
player.
just want to clear this up. Josh Anderson being the brother of Josh
Oh,
Brennan's
boy.
fiance.
Yes.
This is a big,
yes.
We're going down
There's-
a rabbit hole
right.
now.
Feudal
To clear
Japan.
this up
Yeah.
more, is
Power
that
well.
reef related at all to the reef from
Yes.
studio?
Actually, yeah. So Curtis Reef is Jason Reef's cousin.
Okay.
Yeah.
Everything's really
That's
connected.
how we got it in.
All right, continue.
Confused.
Yeah.
This lore is so deep already.
Yeah, I know. It's like you could almost create a Dungeons and Dragons world out of it. So the country aspect, our guitar player Josh Anderson he's into grittier country. He likes Brantley Gilbert and everything. So we try to bring in aspects of that kind of music, sort of getting into rock country. And Curtis is a big fan of traditional folk music. So a lot of what we put into our sets is also Appalachian folk music, which is really story heavy, sort of fun songs. There's one song that's great called The Big Rock Candy Mountain. Banjo Picking Girl is another one. We love that
Nice.
one. That's an interactive song, actually. So we sing about finding ourselves a banjo picking girl. And,
It's like VR. Or
How do you
something?
interact?
well, we interact with the audience.
Oh, okay. That makes sense.
So
it's
we
not
ask the
VR.
audience. We ask the audience where we're gonna go to find this banjo picking girl, and they have to pick like a city or a town, and so
What's
You
the
know.
funniest town they've ever picked?
oh man, it's usually ones that like you can't find a good rhyme for. So the phrase is, I'm going around this world, baby mine. I'm going around this world, baby mine. I'm going around this world to find a banjo picking girl. I'm going around this world, baby mine. And then you ask, where are we going? And so someone will say, Alaska. And it's like, I'm going to Alaska, baby mine. I'm going to Alaska, baby mine. I'm going to Alaska, and I will never forget to ask you. I'm going to Alaska, baby mine.
That's pretty good. Has anyone ever tried Quebec? That seems like really hard.
Yeah, that we have had that one time, and I think Curtis came up with some crazy rhyme for it, and I don't even remember what it was. It was just like insane.
Do you guys just like, when that happens, you guys just look at each other until someone's like, I got it.
I was
And then
like,
they do it?
no. So the whole point of the song is that we have to go on as if we're playing the song completely normally. Like, you can't stop. You have to come up with the rhyme on the fly. And so like Alabama, you can slant rhyme with banana.
That's true.
So, I'm going to Alabama and I hope I don't slip on a banana type of deal.
pretty good.
Yeah. So just like fun folk songs are a really big part of what we do. We've also been starting to get into classic English folk songs, like the child ballads and everything. Those are more story based towards like death, because, from the time period they're from.
Are you talking about like London English?
Yes. So
like the Black Plague and stuff is going on. And it's just a bad time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just a terrible time.
That's where the Ring Around the Rosie song comes from.
Yeah, I know.
Which is actually
Yeah,
really
it's about
dark.
death. Yeah.
Scary.
Yeah.
Yeah, scary
Not
stuff.
a fun song.
No,
it's
not
not.
actually.
There's one we sing, I can't remember the name of it off the top of my head, but basically this woman is trying to save her husband from being hanged for a crime he didn't commit.
Okay, that's fair.
And, she goes around and then she ends up like challenging the king to a duel with pistols. And it's like,
awesome.
What a
you gotta be kidding me. I'm like,
lit.
this is one of the craziest songs. So we love the folk aspect because it gives us a nice route for storytelling.
Can you explain what folk music is for the people? Because I think folk music is kind of one that isn't as self-explanatory, and I think one that isn't as encountered, often in mainstream music. So I don't know if everyone's even familiar with what folk music really is.
So, folk as we know it today is becoming really progressive. There's a band I love called the Punch Brothers. They just won a Grammy, actually. Pretty cool stuff.
Last night?
Yeah.
Awesome.
Well, yesterday. I think they announced the
A
folk
lot of
album
them, yeah.
beforehand,
Yeah.
just so that they didn't eat up airtime, which is, makes sense.
Does that offend you?
I guess.
You seem pretty offended.
I'm a little offended just because their music is very progressive for the genre. The instrumentation generally doesn't have percussion in it or things like that. Very heavy on harmonies. And so as a group, our thing it really is our harmonies. The four of us, when we sing together, our guitar player Josh, Curtis, he plays mandolin, banjo, guitar, just everything. And our fiddle player Jen, when we get all four of us singing together, it's just a great tight unit of sound. And so a lot of folk music, I think, is based on the instrumentation. The rhythms that are used are very standard. The keys are very standard. There's a joke, why is a janitor different from a folk musician? It's because a janitor has more than 3 keys. So,
That's a good one. I like that.
yeah. So we generally just play in G, C, and D.
C, G is one of them.
Yep.
You said G's?
Yep.
Nice job, Zach.
Oh. I got that one. Yeah, I got that one.
I'm questioning what that bell is now. You
That's the
piqued
bad
my
joke.
interest.
That's the bad joke, though.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Feel free if there's
really
ever a
draw
bad
attention.
joke.
All right.
Yeah.
But yeah, folk music is a little misunderstood because people associate it with country and they're like, oh, it's all twangy and everything. But
not
really, it's not true. It's, it can be, but once you get into twangy stuff, you're looking more at bluegrass
Yeah.
and stuff. And
And bluegrass can be really fun. I mean, I love the instrumentation. I mean, at least compared to like normal, just general country music, I really enjoy folk music a lot more and bluegrass a lot more because I think the instrumentation gets so much more interesting and
you have lead parts on mandolin and fiddle and everything. And when you look at it, the mandolin really acts as the percussion. It's like the snare drum. The bass is the bass drum. And so you have these driving rhythms throughout the instrumentation that really push the music along. And it's just, it's a wonderful genre. And we're really influenced by Nickel Creek, which is just an amazing band. Their mandolin player, Chris Thiele, is just... I mean, this is a guy who won a Genius Grant for his mandolin playing. So,
what?
Yeah. So he got... I don't remember what it was. It was like $500,000 or something like that. So he could record a classical album. And so he just did a bunch of classical music, playing on his mandolin like what was written for violin. He's just insane. He's a genius. So I don't know if it was $500,000, but he bought one of the most expensive mandolins in the world, and then he just shreds it up. We play one of the songs they cover, which is called The Fox. It's a classic folk tune, story of a fox going into a town and stealing geese and ducks from the village and eating them with his family.
As they do.
As they do, exactly. Like, but we love getting back to it. Folk music is all about the story, you know.
Yes, I was going to say that. Yeah,
so a lot of our stuff is Appalachian folk. We at one point tried to introduce a washboard.
Nice.
Didn't work too well.
What are the challenges of incorporating washboard?
Before we get into that,
someone else having hands to play it.
we got to do a break real quick on that note.
You got a commercial.
We'll be right back. And we're back. Pointed Podcast.
That was the shortest commercial break ever. So Jake, we're back here with you. You are the missing link for us and Josh Brennan and Cedar Routes.
Yeah, it all ties together.
It all ties together. This is where the lore really starts to develop, and we get a little more backstory on Josh Brennan here. Yeah. So you've known Josh Brennan for a while, right?
I have. So we attended a school called Lehigh Christian Academy together. I was in 6th grade while he was in 8th grade.
What was he like when he was younger?
You know, he was...
He's not here to defend himself. Remember that.
Yeah, I know. That's sweet. I can say anything.
Yeah.
He was tall.
Okay.
Dark-featured man, as he is now. I didn't, at the time I didn't hang out with him.
You tried to stay away from him as much as possible.
Right, because he was, he's an imposing character, clearly.
Yeah, still to this day.
Right.
And so you play in a band with Josh's fiance's brother, who I also met at the Real Studio.
Right. And his name is also Josh.
His name's also Josh. So you guys don't call him Josh, you call him JB.
Right. We call Josh Brennan JB.
Is there any mix-up then about the whole Justin Bieber thing? Like, does that get complicated?
We call Justin Bieber J Biebs.
Okay.
Yeah,
so you differentiate.
Right.
There's no
That's good.
Okay,
you
that's good.
Think these things through.
Yeah, that makes sense. Unfortunately, Josh is sick today, and I think maybe he knew you were coming. I don't know.
Yeah.
And he just ducked out. But what do you know when his wedding is? You're in his wedding, aren't you?
It is.
It's in May.
It's
in May.
I think it's in May.
I think it's May 4th.
Your Cedar Routes is playing his wedding?
We're playing in the ceremony and then in the space between the ceremony and the reception.
Wow, that's a good gig. Do you think there's any nepotism involved with closing that gig?
They drove a hard bargain, but we're going to get paid absolutely nothing. I think it was a good deal.
That's
pretty
good.
yeah.
That's a good gig.
Yeah.
I heard it's between you and Creed.
So Creed was definitely in the running.
Right.
Are they still? Do they still play music?
Who cares? All right.
Wow.
Creed's listening. You know Creed listens to this show. Why would you say that?
So I have a little interrogation here a little bit.
Oh no.
So all my life, anyone I've talked to, they really hate country music for some reason. I don't know why.
I can understand that.
I don't
did too.
particularly ascribe to that notion.
Hold on.
I hate
Hold
it.
on.
Well,
Yeah, I
Should
hate
I
it.
interrupt this for this, Chandler?
Josh Brennan's calling my phone right now.
Oh, answer it.
Answer it totally. Do you want me to answer the question?
Hey,
Go on.
Josh
This is
Brennan,
more
you're on the
important.
air right now.
Chandler Davis, if I had known that Jake Stahl, the Jake Stahl, was going to be the guest today, I would have rolled out of bed, wiped off my snotty nose, and come in and filmed for y'all.
Jake, what do you have to say about that?
I would have wiped your nose for you, and
Thank you.
And I would
Jake, I would have fully expected that.
and I would have given you a crisp high five.
Josh, I'm
Bless you? Am I supposed to say bless you, or were you throwing up there?
I'm so sorry you couldn't be
That's
here.
what it sounds like when a lung exits a mouth.
Oh, jeez.
This is a crazy dynamic we have going on. Josh,
What's happening?
I'm so sorry you couldn't be here.
Right?
Yeah, we are on the air.
Wow.
What do you have to say?
You're also on the air, Josh.
You're also on the air. I'm putting you up to the mic. You have one last word. All right.
That's
Thank
not
you
a
very
word,
much, Josh.
but okay.
We'll see.
Have
We'll
a
see you.
good podcast.
Thank you so much. Bye.
So that was the usual cameraman, Josh Brennan.
Yeah.
We wanted him to be on the show for a slight bit. Just a slight bit.
So back to country music.
Right. Back to country
You
music.
said you hate country music too?
I used to. So
How does that transition happen? You go from hating it to playing it every day.
I started playing with the band about this is my 4th year with the band now, I think. Yeah, 4th year. And so, at the beginning it was mostly just worship music, worship songs, and we put a country spin on them. And then one day, sitting in my car at school, at Parkland High School, in the parking lot, I turned on 96.1. I was like, crap, I kind of like this.
As everybody knows, that's Cat Country 96.
Cat
Yeah,
Country, 96.
in our area.
Yeah.
So literally, it was as much of
literally-
a Cinderella story as you turned on the radio one day and you just fell in love with the
Yeah.
genre.
Well, I didn't fall in love with it per se.
Okay,
I'd
so
say
it was
I'd
more
say
like
there's
a
a lot
slow-
of people doing a bad job at making country music
There's
now.
a lot of
That's
people
for
doing
sure.
a bad job at
'Cause there's
every
like-
genre.
I feel like-
I can agree with that. Sometimes we do a bad job at country folk gospel. That's for sure.
Because whenever that comes up and people say they hate country, I'm like, what about like Johnny Cash though?
Yeah.
He's country.
You can't
I like
and he's
hate
like
Johnny
universally
Cash.
loved. And
So-
they're like, well, he's good. So
It sounds like Pat's just citing a conversation he had with me
had
about country
I've had this
music. 'cause
conversation with a lot of people.
I've had this conversation with probably like 50% of
It's
the
always
people
like
I've met.
you're always like, I hate country music, and then you bring up good country music, and they're like, oh, I like that.
Yeah.
Like, I think people just think
right.
like, of like pop country
Right.
music, or people just sing about trucks and like catfishing or
Red
something.
truck.
Yeah, exactly. And
Is
I go
fishing for
noodling.
catfish more of a redneck
I
thing than
swear
normal
I've heard that
fishing?
in a
Well,
song.
Noodling is super redneck. So noodling is where you stick your arm in a
Yeah.
hole
Oh,
and
yeah,
it
yeah,
literally
yeah, yeah.
bites onto you
That's
and you grab
hardcore.
it by the gills and pull it out.
That's very redneck.
That's
You're right.
hardcore. I want to
Tune in
do
next
it.
week when we're
I
on
really
location. Noodling.
We're going to Louisiana. Down in the bayou.
That's exactly what it's like.
What like? Why don't you give the people out there like a description of actual country music and not country music about like truck? Like, is there like an artist that, or like a couple artists that are like more representative of the genre that might let people give it more of a
in
chance?
defense of country music. Like, why should you not write it off? You know,
Country music has a lot of good love songs. A lot of good love songs, and not just love songs about trucks. Sometimes they're about girls too. Or men.
Girls in the truck.
Exactly.
girls
Right.
in the truck.
Right.
Anyone
Men
can be in the
noodling.
truck.
Girls
Men in the
noodling.
truck driving down the highway and turning around. So the one Brantley Gilbert song we cover, More Than Miles, is about his story of he was leaving home, driving south, and he decided to turn around and go back home for the woman he loved. And he's been
Aw.
married to that woman for I don't know how many years now. So,
It's a real life story.
it's a real life. It's
And
his
they
real
noodle
life
together
story.
every
Yeah.
weekend.
That's
Yep.
crazy.
You do that every weekend?
They go noodling every weekend.
I run away from home every weekend and decide against it.
Yeah.
Because Lizzie's still here. I forget
week
every
he's like,
time.
I gotta go back.
Yep.
So that's why you should like country music.
I mean, it's everyone has their niche. I don't like a lot of today's pop music, so
I don't know.
I mean,
It does. To be fair, country music does seem pretty wholesome as a whole.
sometimes it is. There's some songs out there that are
country
not on that side of things.
country music to me has always been defended as not defended, but like when people who like it, you know, they say it's like stories and the people and the music is just so much more like down to earth and like grounded than like most other genres. It's like it feels like home. You know?
Really, yeah. Putting a Louisville Slugger in both headlights and slashing a hole in all four tires. It's really down home.
That's home for me.
Yeah.
I had friends.
That's Carrie Underwood, right?
Yeah.
I don't know.
It's real down home and wholesome.
I had friends down in Florida who like had lived in like metropolitan areas of Florida and you know, like city folk for all intents and purposes.
Yeah.
And I come down there from a rural area of Pennsylvania where people listen to country music, but they listen to country music more than I do. And I'm like, why? Why? Because it's not like you came from that place. So like, but you still
Right.
ended up gravitating towards this music, you know, for that, like just that sense of something.
Right. There's a community about it.
Yeah.
In the South. Yeah. I mean, a lot. I can't think of many country singers who are from northern states, quote unquote. If you're listening
Yankees,
online,
if you will.
I'm doing finger quotes. Yeah. You gotta have that drawl, you know.
It's true.
So it's hard to imitate it, and sometimes when we're getting really into a country song,
You'll start to get it.
you'll start to get it.
Wow.
But if you're not really in it, it sounds fake. So I mean, it's like some unlimited power coming
all
through.
about
I think it's
your
like
ear.
the power
Yeah.
of the country gods hitting you.
Johnny
Right.
Cash comes down and like grants you a little bit of draw for the song.
Yep. This podcast is like 70% conversation, 30% awkward silence.
It's 30% me
It's
looking
actually a
at Pat.
tagline, yeah. So
Pat
you're-
just can't read right now. He's been staring at this page.
it's 4 words, dude. I'm having a lot of trouble. So you at Real Studio. I hear you were doing a little recording.
Yeah.
With, with the aforementioned Cedar Routes.
Yes. And I don't think I mentioned it before. I'm the bass player for the Cedar Routes.
That makes sense.
I was curious because you
yeah.
kept naming instruments that you didn't play. And
yeah. It's like, then which
So
is he?
Jen is our fiddle player. Curtis plays basically auxiliary instruments because he just plays everything. And then Josh is our guitar player.
Well, auxiliary instruments, like what? Like what are
Mandolin, banjo,
Okay.
guitar.
spoons.
So just anything.
You know, he probably could.
Yeah, he
I
could
wouldn't be
find-
surprised if Curtis knew how to play the spoons.
There's nothing, dude. Spoons is impressive.
Yeah.
would he
Spoons
be
is
the
next level.
the default washboard player if you were to
If he had
to
hands?
commit to it? If he had hands.
Well, the reason why I said if we had hands because we all play two-handed instruments, you know.
That makes sense.
But
Aren't most instruments two-handed?
oh, you can play trumpet with one hand.
That's true.
You can play harmonica with no hands.
Yeah, you can.
That is true. That's why they have
There
that
you
thing where
Yeah.
you put it, strap it to your head.
Yeah.
That's probably the only instrument I can think
But,
of that you could
So
do that.
theoretically, you could have a harmonica, trumpet, washboard player all in one person.
Oh my god.
That's crazy.
That would be awesome. We got to try that out sometime. All right. Anyways, yeah. So we're recording at the Real Studio with Jason Reef with Freestone Productions, and we recorded our first song for our EP that we want to release before the summer. Might not happen, but we're going to be doing a 3-song EP. Our first song we recorded is called Psalm 30. It comes from the book in the Bible, Psalms, and the 30th chapter.
I think meant like song
Yeah,
2,
song number
like by
30.
Blur. I
Yeah.
think
You're
we're going with
skipping
that
right
kind
to
of
the
thing.
end.
But no, that makes more sense.
But it also incorporates some other stories from the gospel, Jesus calming the waves and stuff, just to really show that, you know, God is working with us and he's, you know, a guiding hand and he'll calm the waves when things seem to be getting overwhelming and whatnot. So it's a good message in the song. And as I was talking about before, we really hit our harmonies on that. We love harmonies.
Same.
It's just like,
Same.
yeah.
Pat apparently does not love
You
harmonies.
apparently do not love
Yeah,
harmonies.
we were
I
waiting.
we all looked
Yeah, we
at
all
you
looked,
and you
you
didn't
didn't
say
do it.
same. So.
I don't like talk about it.
He has a bad relationship with harmonies.
It just sounds too good.
Yeah.
It's overwhelming for him.
Yeah.
So is the theme of Psalm 30, is that also going to be like the overarching theme of the EP, or is it just like a couple songs you'd written and you think are ready for recording? Or
We're doing one original, which is the Psalm 30, and then we're doing 2 hymns.
Okay.
I'm not going to release what those are right now
Right.
since we aren't 100% sure what those will be.
Oh,
but
okay.
That's a good reason.
that's a good way to keep it under wraps.
we're going to be most likely doing How Great Thou Art as one of them. That's one song that we take a little bit slower than usual, and we really just imbue it with our sound and our blend from our voices, and just try and raise up some praise, raise the praise.
As it were.
That's how it works, apparently. Yeah.
Have you had
saying
fun
I'm a lot.
recording?
Oh yeah. We were there probably 5 hours on the Saturday before the open house, and we just had a great time. Jason is really, really professional. He's a fun guy, and he knows what he's doing. And thankfully, we've been playing together so long that we could go in there and actually record live instead of having to individually record instruments and stuff. And it really just helps the mood and the vibe going down there. Yeah, it's a really good time. I think if anyone, I can't plug anything technically but it's a nonprofit. The Real Studio is
Real
nonprofit.
Studio's
So
nonprofit.
can I plug them?
It's a cool, check it out.
Yeah,
It's a
I
cool
think
place.
if anybody, if you love music, I mean, it's a great, comfortable, beautiful space that they've spent a lot of time perfecting so that bands can have the most comfortable and state of the art, as they could do, kind of setup to make music and put that and record that music to bring to the fans and everything. I think it's a really great space, honestly.
So the Real Studio in Bethlehem with Jason and Jason. Go check it out.
Jason and Jason.
Yeah, so
Yeah, they're both named
they're both
Jason.
named Jason.
It's a little confusing.
Yeah. What was the question? We were talking about our recording. We were recording, and it was a good time.
That's a
Grand
good
old
one.
time.
That's always something I'd be jealous of,
What?
like recording with a band in a studio.
You can do it, Pat.
Yeah, you can do it at the Real
You
Studio.
can just be there. You can watch.
That sounds,
We wouldn't
I don't
mind.
want that. I mean, I'm sure it'd be cool, but I want the experience of like being in a band.
Oh, okay.
Oh,
in a
you can
studio.
like hold the guitar. I'm sure you can hold like
Yeah.
one that isn't plugged in.
Yeah,
they're playing in the
they have
corner,
like a
they have
different
instruments
song.
at the Real Studio.
They do have
makes sense.
instruments there. Yes.
All right, on that note, we're gonna go to a break. We'll be right back. And we're back at the podcast. Jake Stahl, Cedar Routes.
Wow.
That's a great intro.
Yeah, we're back.
Jake, are you a voice actor?
I would love to be.
Good answer.
Yeah. I love.
You're hired.
Oh yeah, I'm hired. Oh, thank you. I love like cartoons and stuff. So I watch a lot of Adventure Time. John DiMaggio is one of my favorite
Yes!
voice actors.
Is his last name Is that how you pronounce it?
I believe so.
I was just watching
Yeah.
Futurama
Yes,
before we came
Bender.
here. Yeah.
And
And Marcus Phoenix from Gears of War.
Oh,
Yeah. Yeah, he does a lot of voices. He also does voices for the Boondocks.
Yep.
I mean, things you wouldn't even think would be
Kim
voice
Possible.
actor.
I'm hearing.
He's a
You know
Kim
Kim
Possible
I don't
voice
know
actor.
who,
He's
but
Dr. Draken.
Dr.
Dr.
I don't know who that
Draken.
is.
Is he actually?
The blue guy. He is?
He's the blue guy.
I never knew that. That's someone new to add to the list of memorable
interesting.
characters he's done. He's Jake the dog in Adventure Time. Yeah, I love cartoons. I love voice acting. I want to be that guy that says, call your doctor if you have these symptoms.
You have to talk really fast at the end, though.
Yeah, so I'm trying to teach myself how to do that.
don't
It's a
actually
little
have
hard to do.
You don't actually have to talk that fast.
Well, no, you do.
You have to talk like
No,
kind
you
of
do.
fast,
You do. They're not.
and then they're going to speed you up a
No,
little bit.
they're not. They're legally not allowed to speed
Yeah.
you up. You have to be able to talk that fast.
That can't be true because I can physically hear them speeding people up sometimes.
I don't know, dude.
I'm pretty sure they're not allowed to
call
do
the
that.
Better Business Bureau then.
Yeah, you do that because
You know,
I'm pretty sure that's an illegal practice.
Doesn't matter at all.
What do you mean?
It's just a list.
They can't do anything?
No, it's just a list of companies.
It's like
and you
Yelp.
pay to be on there, and then you can get taken off of it. It doesn't mean anything.
What are you talking about?
It was like back in the day, they'd go around and be like, you can be part of the Better Business Bureau. And people are like, I got to sign up for that. But no, it doesn't matter at all.
I'm going to call the Better Business Bureau and you're going to get put out of business. I'm going to write a terrible Yelp review and you're going to get put out of business.
It's basically the
one
same
to one.
thing. Yeah.
Oh, my dreams
Better
are
Business Bureau
shattered.
can't do anything to your business. They can just take you out of the Better Business Bureau.
And give you a worse rating.
Yeah.
Well,
I remember.
It's like
Good
a
news
1-star
for
on
our-
Yelp.
Yeah, I think
Good
Rooster
news for
Teeth or
Lab
something.
12.
I'm pretty sure it was Rooster Teeth got approached by them, and then Bernie's like, why would I want to be part of this? Like, we don't have to
It's
do
really
this.
funny. I was just listening to the Rooster Teeth podcast
Yeah.
on the way over here.
You pay money to be on a list that just happens to have the name Better Business Bureau. So all you businesses out there, it doesn't matter at all.
Just keep doing what
Anyway,
you're
so
doing.
yeah, I would love to be a voice actor. There's a lot of cool things out there, obviously. There's voice actors who even do voices for live action movies, like people who are voice doubles.
Yep.
There's a guy who does voiceover work as Christopher Walken.
That's like,
he
a,
doesn't. He speaks like Christopher Walken and gets paid to do Christopher Walken lines.
It's also I think Tom Hanks' brother
Yes.
does Woody.
Yeah.
In
And,
Kingdom Hearts 3.
Yep.
And I think Martin Sheen's brother also plays Martin Sheen. He's the Martin Sheen voice guy
Yeah.
for a lot
Oh,
of
wow.
stuff.
Martin Sheen is in Mass Effect. There's a lot of celebrities that do voices just because they just sound like the celebrity that they are,
Yeah.
less because they're really good
Right.
voice actors. So like Martin Sheen's in Mass Effect 2. Haley Joel Osment, he voices Sora in Kingdom Hearts 3.
Oh, man.
Are you the kind of person who, because I am, where you'll be watching a cartoon or a movie or something, and when there's a voice actor, I'm like, I know who that is.
Yeah. So it's great. I can't think of any voice actors' names right now,
Good.
but the voice of Winnie the Pooh,
Yes.
he does so many voices in the Disney universe.
Yes, he does.
He's
He's old too.
yeah, he's getting up there.
Yeah.
It's a really niche job. You have to be in it.
Yeah.
And it's a low turnover rate. So, people,
Especially since there's people, like a lot of people do multiple voices.
Oh,
for a lot
yeah.
of stuff.
Tom Kenny did
so many voices.
for
and
all those cartoons.
even some of the more offbeat stuff, like he did a character on a show called Word Girl on PBS.
Word
did
girl.
not know
Yeah.
that. Oh no, I've heard of that show. Okay, I didn't know
So
he was on
it was just like a random voice, like,
yeah.
but it's like
Steve
the
Blum
super.
is one of my favorite voice actors.
What does he do? I
He
can't.
did he's Spike from Cowboy Bebop, and he's the dude
okay,
that just
yeah.
has low gravelly
Yeah,
voice guy.
he's got one of those
He's always that guy.
voices.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Grunt from Mass Effect 2.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Everything ties back to Mass Effect too.
Yeah.
Who's the guy? The guy who plays the red M&M, the voice of Fry.
Fry. Yep. Same.
Yeah. What's his name?
I'm gonna
don't
look it
know.
up.
I had it, like literally coming
When I
in.
mentioned Futurama.
When you mentioned Futurama, it was in my brain, and I was like, wait, what's his
Billy
name?
West.
Billy West. He does so many voices.
Yeah.
Like he's Zoidberg, he's Fry, he's the doctor.
Farnsworth.
He's Farnsworth. Yeah.
Ren
and then
Stimpy?
I only know that
because
'cause
like
I just watched
everyone does voices, primary voices for those shows, and then does secondary
Yeah.
voices and tertiary voices and
Whoa,
sounds.
So are those? Is that like lingo you're using right there?
I just
I
kind
just said the word tertiary.
tertiary
That's a
just
fire
means
term,
like
man.
third level voices. So like
It's just a word.
Well, how do you define like main characters?
a main character,
secondary characters,
a
and then
secondary
background
character would
characters?
be like a recurring character that doesn't show up in every episode.
like
I guess.
Zap Brannigan, also voiced
Zap
by Phil
Brannigan,
Hartman.
yes.
Yeah. Not
Zap
Phil
Brannigan
Hartman,
is
just
one of the
kidding.
funniest.
He has pretty good
characters on
range
TV.
By
then,
Billy
because
West.
I
Yeah.
don't listen to that. Because usually when I'm listening to a show and I know someone voices multiple characters in that show,
Yeah.
I'm kind of thinking about it.
But
The
when
whole
you
time?
listen to Zoidberg,
Yeah,
you
you
never
don't-
expect it to
Yeah.
be the same person as Fry. Hold on, you kind of gotta pull down the jaw a little bit. But still, they have their own pool.
Hey, we can just send this to people.
We
and
could just
probably get
send
hired.
that.
Yeah, this is
your
my reel.
Everything. I think it was one time somebody's like gave us the little like pro tip where if we have to voice act something and we don't have a pop filter, you can just put a pencil in front of your mouth
Oh
or
yeah,
something.
It,
Except it was
John
really funny.
DiMaggio does that.
This is
So
the voice of Bender, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, where he's like that, and I'm like, when is the voice of Bender ever going to be in that situation?
His name is Bender B. Bendington Rodriguez.
No, I know. I'm just saying.
So lots of B's there.
I just mean, when is he going to be
It's
like,
the B emoji.
I got to
too.
record voice right now.
So
and I
many
don't have a
people
pop
do
filter.
that. It's like a major
You've never
thing.
been in that situation, Pat? Come on.
You've never
dude.
popped
I'm
your
not-
P's.
I'm on the show. I just
Who
bought
taught
a
us
mic.
that?
I
I feel like I was there.
I saw that on a documentary. There was a
Maybe that's
documentary
what we're-
about voice actors that
I want to watch that. What's that called? Probably a very
it's on
clever name.
Netflix.
Probably got a great name.
Let's try and look it up.
I think it's called That Guy from That Thing.
That's funny. That's a good
I think it
one.
might actually be That Guy from That Thing.
So you've always been interested in performing. So
Yes.
I
No,
know.
it's called I Know That Voice.
Oh, I know that voice.
Oh, jeez.
That's pretty close.
It's, someone says That Guy from That
Yours
Thing
is
in
funnier.
it. Yeah.
You actually went to high school with Lizzy?
Yes, I
That's
did.
the other part of the
Yep.
connection we have. A lot
Same
of people
grade.
up here. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you were in a lot of theatrical plays and
Yeah.
things like that?
Yeah, I did 5 main stage shows. I did 1 children's show. I did a Little Mermaid Junior. I played Sebastian.
Nice.
And then I did 4 spring musicals. So I was in Phantom of the Opera,
Nice.
Wizard of Oz, Into the Woods, and then Titanic.
How did they get... Parkland must have had a lot of money to get the rights to those plays.
Well, here's the thing. Our programs were like 100 pages long.
Yeah.
And so we just sold so much advertising space.
Oh, wow. Okay.
And
that
like
makes
we
sense.
built a lot of our sets, which takes the price down a lot. At the time of Phantom of the Opera, I think we were one of the only groups in the country to have a full set. We were one of 3 groups in the country.
Wow.
There was the New York crew had a full set, then there was a touring company that had a full set, and then there was us.
Really?
Yeah.
What year was that?
That was my freshman year of high school, so 2013.
I don't know why you're looking
That
at
sounds
me.
kind of right.
2012, 2013.
Well, we were in the same grade, so that sounds kind of right.
Yeah.
13, 14 maybe?
Yeah.
I don't know.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, it's
2012
like
maybe?
6 years, 5 years ago now? That's
It's a long time ago.
This is going really bad. We
it's
gotta
just like
stop
too
bringing
much.
up years and
doing
numbers.
nothing.
Yeah.
How do you think I feel?
Yeah, well, yeah, Zach's 30 years old. So, and you also performed at the Freddy's
Yeah.
every year you were in high school?
Yeah. So
The Freddie Awards being
the Freddie Awards are basically like a regional award ceremony for musical theater.
Mm-hmm.
And it's done great things for the arts in the Lehigh Valley and beyond. And I had the honor of performing at the Freddy's with Parkland High School. The schools that are nominated for best overall production by a large school, I guess, is get to perform for the Freddie Awards. So I've performed for the State Theater in a packed house.
Wow.
And live on WFMZ.
That's awesome.
So
Wow.
yeah.
What did you guys perform?
Uh,
Any like hits? Any good
Masquerade
ones
from
that you
Phantom of
liked?
the Opera.
Okay.
I don't remember what we did for Wizard of Oz.
Sounds like
kind
that
of-
was your
I've kind of-
favorite.
I've kind of blocked out Wizard of Oz.
You don't like Wizard of Oz? Who'd you play in Wizard
I
of Oz?
played the wizard.
So is that
I was
why
the guy?
you-
I was the
James
guy.
Franco.
Here's the thing.
You
I
played James Franco?
was dumb and I didn't memorize my lines very well. So
well,
it was
doesn't
my
he
own
only
fault.
have like
Yeah, I was literally only
one
in like
page?
3 scenes.
Yeah,
I'm not kidding. But I did better the next 2 years.
that's good. Oh, so was that your freshman production?
That was
or-
my sophomore production.
Okay.
Into the Woods, we performed Into the Woods. And then for Titanic, we did whatever, boarding the ship, whatever that piece is called. Big productions. It's like Les Mis on a boat. It's a giant.
Lame is on a boat.
Yeah.
I was just trying to think. I was gonna say that you performed that song. I couldn't remember the name of the song that comes on when they're on the deck of the ship and she's
My Heart Will Go On.
My heart will go on. Yeah.
Yeah. No. It's,
Do you guys do a number of that?
No, actually, I'm pretty sure the musical
think
came
it's-
out before
yeah,
the
it's
movie.
not that.
Same year, but before the movie.
Do you
And
think
it won some Tonys, I think.
James Cameron directed the play as well? I'm just kidding.
I doubt it. He definitely didn't.
What was your favorite show that you did?
Oh, man, that's a tough one.
Les Mis on a boat.
Les Mis on a boat, I think had my favorite music. I think the most fun I had in a role was as Cinderella's Prince and the Wolf in Into the Woods. And then, I mean, getting my feet wet my freshman year in Phantom of the Opera was...
Okay.
I don't talk about being Sebastian. I'll give you a story, though, about being Sebastian. So they took my measurements for my costume.
Yes.
And I was a large boy.
Okay.
I wasn't particularly rotund, but I was 5'10" and 177 pounds.
Okay.
So they weren't used to getting people my size. And they sent me a pair of pants that I ripped from the bottom to the back all the way up. They had to insert an extra piece of fabric about 4 inches wide to accommodate my buns of whatever, steel, I guess, maybe.
Right.
There's a lot of dancing in that show that I didn't learn.
I'm not going to dispute that, so you can say whatever you want.
Is it because of perhaps did you have to do any like crab walking kind of movements?
I actually did have to crawl across the floor a little bit. Derek Miller played the chef, and he had to chase me across the stage, pretending to try and kill me.
Nice.
Derek Miller, another guy who's getting name dropped again. He was name dropped by Mitchell, I think, when he was on.
Was he really?
Yeah.
So you watched Mitchell's episode?
He's one of the members of 16 Metric Dank.
Oh.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
all coming together.
Yeah.
See,
You guys
connects.
were in the plays together.
Yes.
And then, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember.
but they also sent me this jacket.
This jacket that you're wearing.
No.
No. Okay.
No, this red satin with sequins jacket that I put on, and I couldn't move my arms more than 3 inches up because it was
That's good.
It was literally like 5 inches too small around the chest or so. So I literally couldn't lift my arms at all.
What was the point of them taking your measurements if they were just going to do this anyway?
That's what my whole thing was. I was like, you got to be kidding me. So I literally wore it for the opening scene and then took it off for the rest of the production.
Nice.
Yeah. And I got to wear a sequin top hat.
Do you think that broke anyone's suspension of disbelief after you took the jacket off? They're like, I don't believe he's a crab now.
Yeah. The mermaid in Heelys definitely didn't break anyone's concentration there.
Was that really the solution to the mermaid tail thing?
She had a tail, and she was wearing Heelys so that it looked like she was floating around.
That's
interesting.
hilarious.
Yeah, a couple of people had Heelys. It was
Nice.
It was inventive.
That was
Like
like a pretty lit
commercial where it's like
plan.
great for plays.
They made a giant clamshell for her to sit in.
Did it look good?
Oh, it looked awesome. The set was amazing. The stage crew did a great
unsung
job.
heroes
on that.
of
Yeah, great job.
plays.
They did an amazing job on that.
I have to go to a break real quick.
Wow, he does
Sorry
not
to
like
ruin
stage
this
crew.
conversation.
He
How
does
dare
not
you.
like stage
I'm
crew.
gonna hide my clamshell.
Pat's stage crew pretty
real
much
quick.
for this show. So.
That's kind of mean. I'll be right back. And we're back. Podcast Cedar Routes, Jake Stahl,
Hey.
formerly known as Sebastian the Crab.
That was
Jake,
rough.
so,
I
do you-
wore a lot of makeup for that.
What color? Do they put like red makeup on you?
I wore a lot of rouge.
That's funny.
How much crab did you eat in preparation for that role?
You are what you eat, so you know.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't know, probably none.
That's a good answer.
Yeah, I really was not a good crab. I had to talk in a Jamaican accent, and people told me that I sounded like a sad British man. So,
Wow.
Specifically sad.
yes,
I think
no,
is the thing.
it was that's the thing. It was specifically sad British man.
That's really a bold move to be running a stage production in high school
Yeah.
and give someone a Jamaican accent.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
Yeah.
To be like, no,
Bold
no,
of
no, no.
you to
You,
assume I could do a Jamaican accent.
By the way, we glossed over a fact here that Parkland High School is shaped like the Millennium Falcon.
it is.
It is, yeah.
You know.
I
Have you
do
seen
know
the
that.
top down?
Yeah, I love Star Wars, so
Same.
that's been a thing since I don't know how long
Was
ago.
there a
it
classroom where it's
posted.
like, dude, that's the cockpit? They're like, oh, dude, this is where Luke shot down those TIE fighters.
I would guess I guess the E-wing would be where the cockpit would be
That's a
based on
different ship, Jake. Okay, that's a whole different kind of ship.
No.
Can we get him out of here?
The E-wing of Parkland High School. So it has different wings based on letters of the alphabet.
Is there an X-wing? Y-wing?
No. It goes up to E.
Is there
Yeah,
a TIE
sorry.
bomber wing?
TIE Interceptor wing. You know, we could go on.
Yeah.
Do you miss theater? Because it seems like you've moved on.
Do you still act? Do you dabble? Do you longingly look at the stage?
I loved performing. I really did. There was something about it. It was just like every night before Titanic, I opened the show with a song and just telling the story of people's mindset building the Titanic and everything, about all these amazing things that people have built before. Stonehenge, the Parthenon, the Duomo, the aqueducts, all those amazing architectural feats. And then you have the Titanic, which is like 1,000 feet in length. It was the biggest ship of its time. It was an architectural feat.
Yeah.
And I played the architect, Thomas Andrews. And it's really interesting to see, someone's artistic interpretation of what would have been going through this person's head as the ship is going down. There's an entire song dedicated to him not realizing, just stating like what he could have done differently just by extending a line so that the walls could go up a little higher and the water wouldn't have rushed in that way and it wouldn't have split in half or would have taken longer to sink. So just getting emotionally attached. There was one night, there's a song called The Blame that's between my character, the ship's owner character, and the ship's captain character, that it felt like we were legitimately angry with each other. Like we went off stage and we just like were silent for a second. And we were all like, dude, are you okay? Are we good? Are we okay right now? Because we were like about to kill each other on stage, and we could all feel that. It was something about it was just electric that you really can't get from anything else. The interaction and the emotional aspect of acting is something different, and I do miss it. I miss a lot of things that I did in high school. I performed with pretty much an elite choir several times, with the district choruses and whatnot. The state chorus was awesome to perform with. I miss performing in that aspect, and I love performing with my band. And it's really great. It's the one thing I have right now that really ties me back to my life as a performer. I'm a classically trained vocalist. Curtis, our everything guy, is a classically trained vocalist. He went to school for music education and music composition, so he knows how to arrange our music and everything. Josh started out as a jazz guitar player, and so he's really just excellent with his soloing, and he can just pull a solo out of a hat like it's nothing. It's
improv.
Yeah, he says he's gotten worse, but maybe he's gotten worse at jazz soloing, but he's definitely gotten better at country folk gospel soloing, which you don't know what that is
niche
until you hear it. Yeah. And our fiddle player Jen is a classically trained violinist, and so it was interesting bringing her in, because I don't think she'd ever played the fiddle before, and there's a lot that's different between classical practice and folk and bluegrass style fiddle.
Yeah, for sure.
So there's things she's still learning that we're trying to force upon her to do.
Are you trying to like undo some classical habits she has to replace them with ones better for the kind of music you're playing?
I think subconsciously we are. I don't think we're directly attacking it like that, but like we write out the solos for her so that she knows what to play, and she executes it perfectly. I mean, she's really getting into the folk feel and everything, and she's been an excellent addition. She's been with us for a year now. I've been with the band for 4 years. Curtis and Josh this is my 4th year, and Curtis and Josh have been playing together for 6 or 7 years. So
Wow.
it's really great.
Yeah, you guys must have a lot of chemistry.
Yeah, and so that really helps with the performing aspect. Curtis and I have been singing together since we were in middle school. Curtis was in Josh Brennan's class, actually. So another layer. So
Wow.
we talked about the levels of Mitchell Kresge, like the 6 levels of Mitchell Kresge. It's like
Everyone's
like
also 6 degrees away from Josh Brennan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Or less.
Or less.
Yeah.
Usually less.
Usually
much
less. Like Mitchell's like 2 degrees of Mitchell.
Yeah, that's all.
And
you
then it's
need.
like 3 or 4 degrees of JB.
Yeah. Of Justin
Basically,
Bieber.
we can track
Yeah.
the entire Lehigh Valley through 3 people.
Yeah. Pretty much.
I wouldn't be surprised. I really wouldn't.
challenge you to prove us wrong.
All right, well, we gotta wrap it
I'll
up
do that
soon.
as a segment.
So we can thank Jake.
Jake?
I'd like to thank Jake for
Yeah.
coming, Jake
Just
for
because
coming
the
on.
15 metric day.
Yeah,
I'll do a quick plug here. So Cedar Routes, we're going to be having an EP coming out soon, a 3-song EP. We're focusing on the message of our group right now. We're just trying to spread the gospel to the Lehigh Valley and beyond. And yeah, so we're just trying to have fun. Go check us out on Facebook or Instagram.
And on,
our music is on
Bandcamp.
Bandcamp. Yeah. So, yeah.
All right.
Keep an eye out for Cedar Roots.
Shannon, you have anything you want to plug?
We're the Poorly Edited Podcast. Thank you so much for listening. Check us out, Lab 212 and the Poorly Edited Podcast on YouTube and Instagram, Facebook, all that. Thank you guys so much for watching and listening. I'm Chandler Davis, Sly Elliott on everything, my personal accounts.
If you're not listening to us live and you want to listen to us live, we're live every Monday at 4 p.m. Eastern on WXLV The X.
On iHeartRadio.
Absolutely.
All right.
Thank you guys so much.
See you next week.
Or not.
I wandered so aimless, life filled with sin. I wouldn't let my dear Savior in. Then Jesus came like a stranger in the night. Praise the Lord, I saw the light. I saw the light, I saw the light. No more darkness, no more night. Now I'm so happy, no sorrow inside. Praise